So much has changed since just yesterday, Susie. So let's start with New York. They changed the mask guidance for childcare, day camp, and overnight camp programs just yesterday. And now this is a week after the new health and safety guidelines were just released. So Susie, break it down for me.
Yeah, and I mean, we're basically all reading this together as we're trying to determine exactly what the DOH or the Department of Health intends. But it is very clearly stated that they are no longer going to be requiring masks for children, period, at day camps and overnight camps for that matter, because overnight camps are going to follow the same guidelines that are written about day camps. And it clearly says that they're not required to wear a face covering, when they're on the property, in the facility or outdoors. They're going to be encouraged to, certainly in certain circumstances, and they'll still have to wear them on buses, absolutely. And they're also saying that unvaccinated staff should wear them. So that's a really good incentive for that staff to get the vaccine. There's still time to do it before they arrive at camp. And then they can also be without their masks.
Now, I want to rewind for a year, Susie. We had the same conversation wondering if camps were even going to be able to open last year when we talked about it. And a mask was a huge part of that conversation.
Yeah, and kids were not wearing masks at day camps last summer in the state of New York. That's really important to know. And what's so incredible about that is that even at the kind of height of the pandemic last summer, there were virtually 0 cases of COVID in New York State at regulated day camps. And what we found was so many mitigation strategies were put into place, from cleaning to screening when children arrived to distancing when possible, that they simply were able to keep COVID out, which is incredible. And so there was absolutely no reason to change the rules this summer, as we're seeing so many people vaccinated and such a drop in the number of cases of COVID in New York State.
So Mark, what type of a difference do these changes make for you and for your facilities?
Overnight camps in New York weren't able to open last year, so this is all new ground for us. And clearly, we've been waiting for over a year now to be ready to open and be prepared to do so. Without the guidelines, which just came out last week, we were coming up with our own protocols and trying to use the best practices that other camps used last year as the roadmap and the model to do this safely. And now that the guidelines came out last week and now changed, certainly it's great news that campers are not going to be wearing masks at camp this summer when they're outside. And camp's an outdoor experience.
And how hard is that? I mean, last week, I think it was 23 pages that I was looking through, right, on this guidance and trying to figure out, okay, what are they asking of these camps? And then, last night, all of a sudden it changes. How tough is it for you to say, okay, this is what we're going with, nope, now this, and hey, this is the latest thing, Mark?
It is really challenging. In fact, just this last weekend, we had our entire leadership team together for a meeting to really go through what this summer's going to look like. And the timing was great. We just got the guidelines. We put together sort of our booklet. Everything came with a big asterisk. The asterisk said, look, excuse me.
Live
the asterisk
TV,
was, we believe these things are going to change. There's 5 weeks between today and when camp begins. Things are trending in the right direction. And bear with us. It's not easy. Camp people tend to be type A. We like to know what's going on. We like to plan. We like to organize. It's the only way to be successful. But we know under these circumstances that there's going to be a lot of curveballs that are going to be coming our way almost on a daily basis. Even last night I was at my desk and I got a couple of emails from Susie that the rules changed. And we expect that to happen probably over the course of the next few weeks, because there's some clarity that needs to happen around not just mask wearing, but some other pieces of the guidelines. And we just think that camps know how to run safely. We know that camps can do this in a way that's effective and safe for kids, and to hopefully make it look as close to a normal summer as possible with some obvious mitigations.
All right, Susie, let's talk about New Jersey, because obviously we know, starting Friday, things are changing there, but they have different camp guidelines than New York.
They do. They're quite different. Well, not quite different. I mean, they're similar in many ways, and then they're also have their own nuances that work for their state. And actually, I just got an update last night from the folks that we work with in New Jersey that those are going to be updated over the next several weeks as well. So we are expecting some pretty significant changes, probably as it pertains to mask wearing. Right now, it clearly states that children will not have to wear masks outside at day camps in New Jersey. So I want to make sure that parents and the public do understand that. It talks about excessive heat, which we all know in the Northeast in July and August is pretty much every day, unless we get lucky with a few cooler days. And so there certainly the children will not be wearing masks at day or overnight camps, but there have been some stricter rules as it pertains to cohort sizes and things of that nature. And so we are expecting to see some changes.
All right, Mark, I know the rest of the guidance seems to be the same, including a call for facilities or programs to collect vaccination status, to document things for staff, health screenings, things of that nature. So talk to me about the type of things that overnight camps need to now do that really you've never had to do before.
Well, you certainly touched on a number of those. We are, for our staff, about 10 days out, starting to send them on a daily basis a health screening assessment, as well as asking them to get a PCR test prior to their arrival on camp. And every day now, we're starting to get staff arriving on property to get camp ready for the summer. So that certainly is a change from in the past. We've reached out to every one of our staff members to get exactly what their vaccination status is currently. We've made arrangements for some staff who may not be able to get the vaccine where they currently are to be able to get it locally. So literally before they actually step onto camp, they're going to a local pharmacy, getting vaccinated, and then being able to come on camp, which helps to protect everybody. And then those same processes will be in place for campers. So 10 days before the kids arrive, they're going to be getting a health screening assessment. We're collecting vaccination status on all of our campers that are 12 and above. And then some other changes that we've done in camps before are daily temperature checks. And obviously some investment in some testing equipment to have on camp should we need that. If we have any suspected cases, we'll be able to really manage that and mitigate that right on camp. A lot of camps, ours included, became a CLIA certified lab, allows us to do some of these things right on property and not rely on a local health facility.